So once again I was filming and my phone went off, which meant I lost the footage, but it's fine. It's fine. Hi there, I'm John and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So the other day I was walking to school and, not to be too dramatic, I just thought of Rachel Cusk and I said to myself, Rachel Cusk, I will read you this year. And I started thinking of all the authors I promised last year and I rolled over into this year. And this is just a very short video that's going to, I'm just going to list 15 authors who I will read this year, who I have said to myself, I will read you this year, and that you all should hold me by. And I, just to make this list different from maybe anything or any names that have appeared on my channel, I tried not to mention authors who I have already mentioned on the channel. When I decided to write out all the authors on my TBR who had at least 1 or 2 books on that TBR, and I ended up at 42, and that was not even the end. Literally, I had to stop. I was like, okay, 40 something, and I was looking at it and I was like, I don't want to say it's not possible to read 50 books this year. I've not hit it before, but it's not possible to read all 42 of these authors this year because I already have specific authors on my 24 for 2024 tag that I mentioned that are certainties this year. So yeah, like I said, I'll just go into this list so you have an idea of it's just a TBR list of authors I will read this year. And so yeah, let's get into it. First author here is Amor Tolls, and he's the author of A Gentleman in Moscow, which I have wanted to read for the longest time. I think since I first saw it, I don't know if it was on Bill Gates' list back in 2018, 19, I cannot remember, but I saw it on the Bill Gates list and I found that it was quite popular and something drew me to it. I cannot remember, but I want to read that book. Amor Tolls, I will read you this year. Next, Haruki Murakami. I have seen him so much thrown around in my face. I was finally able to own a physical copy of his work by accident last year. I saw it at the fair, and yeah, I do intend, I have at least 2 of his works on my list that I would really like to get to, which are Norwegian Wood and 1Q84. But his book, which I own physically, is I cannot bring it out now, but it's Colorless Sukuru, if that is Sasaki, I think. But Haruki Murakami, I'll read you this year. Next is Chimamanda Adichie, and she's a Nigerian author, a very popular Nigerian author over there as well. Author of famous books like Purple Hibiscus, I think Half of a Yellow Sun, and Americana. She also has the We Should All Be Feminist essay, and yeah, she's the head feminist rep for Nigeria and even for women abroad. I do not mind her. I've not just read her. She's a popular one who I've not read. People say I should be ashamed. I'm not ashamed, but Chimamanda, I will read you this year, I promise. Next is Patti Smith, and yeah, she's the author of, what's the name of that book? The New York one that's the pretentious leaked fake people on TikTok and everywhere reading. God, I don't know why it's blanking out on me. Jesus, I knew it. I cannot remember, but it's that book with the black cover. I'm going to put it right here. I know she has a book called M Train, but I cannot remember the name of the one I really want to read. It's the most popular one of her works. But yeah, Patti Smith, I will read you this year. Just Kids, that one. Next is Cormac McCarthy, and yeah, this is an author that I don't know, I think he's quite a staple American classic author, and I've seen so many of his works around, and there's just something that tells me I will like this man. Before I joined BookTube or wanted to join Bookstagram or any of the bookish things, I had learned about him actually from Stephen King, because his book Blood Meridian is one of King's favorite works, and so I immediately wanted to read him. But yeah, Cormac McCarthy, I had Blood Meridian, No Country for Old Men. They are the 2 at the top of the list, but he's one author I am really eager to get to, and I would love to get to something of his this year. I will read him this year. Next is Darling Virginia Woolf. I own 2 of her physical books, and they are not the two I actually wanted to get. But the first one is her debut, Miss The Voyage Out, which when I saw this last year, I had never seen it anywhere. I never heard anybody talk about it literally. And yeah, I also own Miss Dalloway somewhere there. I cannot find it, but Virginia Woolf, she's like very praised, very renowned, and yeah, I really want to read this woman. That's all I can say. I don't really know too much about her works. I don't know how well I'm going to get on with her work because she's said to be like a very stream of consciousness writer. But Virginia Woolf, high on the TBR. Next is Ian McEwan, and he's the author of Atonement, which is quite a famous novel. And yeah, he's one I just have this sense, something me just gravitates towards him, that I'm going to quite like his writing. And the book on my list, the one I have for him top is Atonement, which I have not seen yet to buy, but I saw a friend somehow found his hands on it last year, and I've been meaning to borrow it, but I have so much I'm reading at the moment that I choose peace, I choose to rest. But yeah, Ian McEwan, I will read him this year. Next is Charles Bukowski. I think he does prose too, but he's very famous for his poetry. And yeah, Bukowski, I do not know too much about him, but I know that he was not the best man. But yeah, I just want to see I just want to taste his writing. It's one of those ones eager to just taste the writing of Bukowski. And yeah, Charles Bukowski, I will read you this year. Next is actually kind of a big one that I really need to read her for her name and just like the praise she has garnered, and it's Toni Morrison. And of course, like the top book on my list of I want to read from her is Beloved, which is like maybe her most praised one. People have different opinions on which is her best one, but it's probably the most popular one. And I've actually seen her at the fair. I've not just been able to get her works because either not affordable or not read, or it's written on, and I do not like books which they have written on, so I have been postponing her. But I will eventually read her. I really would love to actually read her like physically as opposed to like e-copy, but we'll see. Toni Morrison, this is the year. Number 10, we have Camus, Albert Camus. I don't know if that's how you say it. That's how, but yeah, I want to read him this year. I actually found my hands on one of his works, but I refuse to show it now. I saw it at the fair last 2 weeks. I just do not want to show it now because I am going to show it in my book haul. When I film my final college book haul, that's when I'm going to show it. But yeah, I found my hands on a Camus, not the one I wanted. The highest on my list was The Stranger to read, but I found one. I snagged it because I want to have what you guys have. I want to have some of these books, and it's always pleasing when I see some of like these heady ones and land my hands on them. Next we have Kazo Isuru, and I've forgotten, he has some very popular works. Never Let Me Go, I think that's one of the top ones on my list. And yeah, I also have like the sense that he's an author I would really like. But yeah, Kazuo Ishiguro, high on the list. Next we have J.D. Salinger, and wait, I promise that the year is not going to end without me reading this book, without me reading this very book that's so divisive, so acclaimed, so much praise. I really want to jump into it because it's like small and short, but I just want to actually, when I read it, I want to like intake it. I have a sense I'm actually going to like this book, even though it's one that you are either on this edge or either on this edge, not really in the middle. But yeah, he's high on the list. Salinger, high on the list. So yeah, almost on 13 we have Clarice Lispector, and she's I think a Brazilian author who has kind of been making more of a pop-up since last year, and she's set to write like this very heady literature. One of my favorite booktube people, Nathan from Nathan's Nook, really likes her a lot, and my friends, different people I know have read her, and she's said to have that prose that will move you from where you are into the sky, possibly. And I really, when I read, like, if you can impress me with the writing, You really have me, honestly. You really have me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to like tasting of her writing fountain, which I know is going to be so good. I just have it as a feeling here that I'm going to like her. I think the highest one on my list to start with her is like the Hour of the Star. There's another one, but I'm blanking out on like the name of that one. But yeah, the Hour of the Star. Sometime this year I will get to the spectrum. 14, we have CLA Keegan, and she's the author of like these very small books that people always like. People always like her books. I've not seen like anybody say they missed with her, and I thank God they are really small. I want those small snappy books that will hit me in the chest. And yeah, CLA Keegan, I will read you this year. And the final author on the list is an author I actually got a first book of finally like last week or something, and also I actually started his diary in 2022. Yes, in 2022 I started his diary, but I could not I got to like 50 pages and decided to pause on it, take time out of it, then eventually I will start it from the beginning again. But all that, it's Franz Kafka, it's Sad Boy Kafka, and I want to read Kafka because everybody reads Kafka. And yeah, I will read Kafka this year. Definitely, I will read him this year. But yeah, this is just a little silly video, don't mind me. I actually filmed my January wrap-up early. I just got cleared, and so it will probably come a bit later than this. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's the video. I hope you guys are having a lovely time. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, do everything doable you can do to push it out for me. And also, please, I would love if you have read any of the authors I mentioned. I'd like you to let me know the best place to start with them for the ones who you have read two by, and even if you have read one by them, if you just like think I'm going to enjoy them very much. But yeah, that's it. I hope you have a very blessed week, and bye.